Hey, what is up, JoJo in the Morning family? I hope you are having a super good day. I want to talk to you about something that's going to help you a whole lot. And it's very easy to do, but most people do not do it. This is the type of stuff in our mentoring program that we really jump in and talk about. We're going to talk about self-evaluation. So many times in life, people neglect that inspecting their day-to-day action will actually produce the results of the promises and prophetic words that God has given them. You know, it's like I've never met anybody that had a super awesome personal walk with God that didn't have a devotion time. I remember one time I was at a conference and I was sitting around with these generals in the faith, and I was, about 15, 20 years younger than all of them, and just listened to them. And they all talked about God like they really knew Him. And I was like, man, these guys are just like they really know God. And then one of the guys was like, man, I remember my dad, he would wake up at 4:30 every morning and he would spend 2 hours with the Lord. And they just talked about just different examples that they had of people who would just spend amazing amount of time with God and really knew the Lord. And I was like, man, that's phenomenal. And so all of these guys were just casually talking, but they were talking about how the priority of their day was spending time with God. And then, when I talk to different people who are business owners, they talk about how the most productive part of their day they really spend on what is the most important part of their day according to their business. As health coaches, I talk to a lot of different health coaches, and a lot of times I'm able to help them with their business. And what I found out a lot of time is people do not do the number one thing to help maintain, strengthen, and grow their business. They spend the wrong part of the day doing that, and they spend the right part of their day doing nothing. Sometimes people want to relax and they want to look at reels or stories or whatever on social media. It will never ever spend the most productive part of your day doing that. We all have it's like a sweet spot. We have like a zone that we really connect in. And we have a time every day that we're just like, our mind is at peak performance state. That's when you need to be focusing on the things that are the most important to you, okay? Like your family never should get the worst part of your day. God should never get the worst part of your day. You should always be able to really examine yourself and figure out what the highlight, the best part of your day is, and really apply yourself during that time. And so a lot of times in life when I talk to people, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Oh, hey, so how's everything going? How's things going with your walk with God? How's your marriage? And they're not doing any evaluation. I was listening to a guy the other day, and he said, when I was younger, I would have goals for like a year. And then as things started rolling, I had goals for a month. And then I had like week-long goals that I would have. And he said, now I'm at the place in my life where I have a goal every single day. And the other day I was really going over how I prioritize my time. And every single day I have strategically planned how to have quality time with God, quality time with my wife. I get to spend individual time with each one of my kids. I work on our Optavia health coaching business. I work on our mentoring program. I work on church. I work on YouTube. I work on social media. I inspect every single day of my life. I never start my day without a purpose. In fact, I have a purpose the night before. And so when you really take a deep dive look at every single day, it makes a huge difference. You have to inspect what you expect. You can never say, oh, my day is just not going good. Things just aren't going my way. You're going to have to determine in your life that no matter if you have a headache, you're still going to pray. still going to be in the Word. When you just work for somebody else, you still go into work and do your task. Well, you know what? God doesn't deserve or need our second best on anything. Your marriage doesn't need second best. Your kids don't need second best. And a lot of times people, they only push forward when they feel like it. Well, a lot of times people don't feel like it. I remember 2 weeks ago, I woke up with a horrible sinus headache, and I got up and drank a lot of water, took me some nose spray, and I was just like, man, my head hurts. But you know what I did? I got my prayer in, got my bike riding in, riding my mountain bike every day, and then I got my workout in. By the end of my workout, you know what? I got that blood pumping in my body, had my mind thinking. I started feeling pretty good and had a very productive day. But I could have stopped. But you know what? I knew that all the people depending on me, they deserve me to show up and be my best that day. If I have a sinus headache, I didn't give myself a pass that day and say, I'm just going to lay around because my head hurts. No, I went at it. I did what I was supposed to do. And a lot of times we don't examine what we're doing, and when you don't examine yourself and keep charts and track your results, you're not going to ever be fulfilled in life to do what you're called to do. If you're struggling, let's say in some part of your health, you need to examine that. If you're struggling in your marriage, you need to examine that. If you're struggling with a relationship with your parents, you need to examine that and do whatever you can do to make situations better. One of the biggest problems we have is people, they make excuses, they're negative, and they think it's everybody else's problem. But the people that I've seen in life that are the most successful in anything that they do, they show up. I remember years ago I was at a church, and we had a Sunday night service, but an hour before Sunday night service, we would have prayer. Now, in Texas, when it's like raining, we say it's pouring or the bottom fell out. And we had Sunday night church, and I mean the absolute bottom fell out. It was pouring. Well, when I got there, I was unlocking the church. My pastor said, hey, Joe Joe, who do you think is coming to prayer? He was kind of smiling. I said, I tell you who's going to be here. And I named 2 ladies and 5 guys. I said, they will be here because they won't miss prayer. 5 men showed up and 3 ladies. There was 1 lady, I didn't know if she was going to show up, but she showed up. Isn't it unique, out of a good-sized church of a few hundred, I was able to pick exactly who was going to show up for prayer. Because I knew that they were tenacious. They had this resiliency about the things of God. They were going to show up and pray. No matter what the weather was. They're not fair weather Christians. They were going to show up. There's been times in our health coaching business, there's certain months of the year that are just better than other months. But in the months that don't seem to be quite as good, before the month starts, I can always tell you who's going to have a great month anyway. Why? Because that's how they work. That's how they coach. And so what you got to understand in life, it's like when you have revival services. You can pick who's coming and who's not because of their commitment. And so in life, a lot of times, we're wondering why things aren't working out for us. It's because that we don't inspect what we expect. And I'll be honest with you should be hard on yourself. I don't believe in people that's easy on their self. It's just not a good thing. I was at a store the other day, and there was somebody in front of me. I felt so sorry for them. They were mad. They were angry. They were hateful. They were just complaining about everything. They're about 125, 30 pounds overweight. Just looked like they just rolled out of bed and it was the middle of the day. And they were just mad. And they were griping at everybody around them. And I was just thinking, like, how sad to go through life like this. knowing that our God, the great creator of everything, has amazing stuff for you. You don't take care of your temple. You're mad at everybody. You're cursing the poor little people behind the counter that they're just mad at everybody, griping about everybody. I'm not going through life like that. I've had people do me wrong. I forgive them quick because I don't want to hold any bitterness towards anybody, because I want the best. I want the best for everybody that comes around me. I want to show up the best I can. The other day, I had somebody going to come meet me at the church, and I just had a really rough encounter. Somebody I didn't see it coming, just lit into me over the phone. I did not see it coming. And I don't even really know this person, just thought they wanted to talk. I said, sure. And when it was over, I said, well, what's wrong? And the Lord showed me what was wrong, what they were going through, so I didn't take it personally. So I was meeting with this couple from the church, and when it was over, they're like, oh, Joe, you're always in the best mood. I bet you just have the best days. And I was just like, God is gracious and God is good. Because, see, I didn't allow the bitterness to come in. And I could have been mad. I could have canceled that appointment and said, woo, I just need a moment to just, woo. But it's all good. And so you have to just clear your heart, and you have to really examine yourself every day. Like I said, don't let yourself off the hook. Be in the Word of God every day. Be in prayer every day. Go over your goals. Go over your action steps in life. This is how we do health coaching. We track people's daily steps. This is how I do mentoring. Whatever somebody's wanting to do in life, I help them track and to become a better version of themselves, to be more spiritual, how to accomplish dreams and goals. And so examine your day-to-day life. And if you will examine your day-to-day life, you will find the answers you've been looking for of why you're successful and why you're not successful. And so when I start mentoring people, I say, let's go over your day. And the people who are already very successful when they come in, they rattle off their day. And a lot of people struggle with it. We're in a judge-free zone. We don't judge people. We just help every person become better where they're at. And you can lie to a mentor, but you can't really lie to yourself. You can lie to yourself, but you don't really believe it. So I want to encourage you, be truthful with yourself and write down your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, and go for them. This is a great season to be alive. All right, love you guys. And hey, if you want prayer, go to the website, joejoedawson.net, go to the contact button, hit it. There's a place for prayer. Send me your prayer requests. And if you got questions about the mentoring or the health coaching or the health program, just send me a message. I'd love to get in contact with you. Love you guys.